Tonight, the state's insurance commissioner is saying that he is still fighting to make the state's insurance market more competitive and stable.
Listen, y'all know insurance is a touchy topic for so many people who say it's just too high and they can't afford it. WDSU reporter Jonah Gilmore attended the town hall with the insurance commissioner. Jonah, did people feel good about what he had to say?
I did speak with a few people who say they learned a lot at the town hall and they believe in what the commissioner is doing, but they want to see action that leads to those insurance rates dropping.
It's very costly and you don't have a choice. You have to have it and you have to pay for it.
Mandeville resident Arlene Rome says insurance in Louisiana needs to be more competitive.
You have to make it attractive that people will come to our state to sell insurance. If they don't want to come, then there's nothing we can do.
Tuesday, the state's insurance commissioner, Tim Temple, addressed what he calls an insurance crisis. During the town hall, Temple admitted the state has one of the highest insurance rates in the country, saying Louisiana spent about 7% of their annual salary on insurance alone.
We're doing everything that we can control in the state of Louisiana to help mitigate that.
Temple says he's trying to make the insurance market more competitive, touting insurance reform that passed during the regular session. He says that reform is designed to address issues that would inhibit insurance companies from wanting to come and do business.
We've got to make sure that companies have a competitive market, an atmosphere where they can be competitive, while at the same time handling claims and having the money to pay claims.
According to Chris Calziu, his home insurance is now 8 times more than it was 17 years ago when he built it.
It makes me very uneasy. I'm not a young man. I'm headed towards retirement. If I'm going to take a capital loss because now I'm being priced out of a house and my real estate values are going backwards, it's a problem.
He says the cost of insurance could force him to move away, but he's hopeful he won't have to make that choice.
I do believe people who are selfless servants can get us out of this.
Now, I'll also add there were about 50 people at the town hall, and Temple answered every question that was asked of him.
Jonah, speaking of questions, I know that insurance companies will not insure some homeowners over things like old roofs. Did anyone ask about the fortified roof program?
Yeah, so, a lot of people asked about fortified roofs. Temple says he wished everyone could have a fortified roof because he sees trends in other states that drives insurance rates down because of those roofs. Reporting live in Mandeville tonight, Jonah Gilmore, WDSU News.